On the planet. But to the ignorant, you know them as former slaves. The crack of the whip or blistered hands, splinters from the creaking boards of racks of Africans stripped from their homes, infections creep and take over the weak. Kakumba, my toto, kakumba. Run, child, run. Cause they gon' throw you on a chain gang and put you on a ship. 2.4 million of my ancestors died at sea just for you to mistreat them and use them for your selfish needs. This is strange. From ships to auction and cotton fields from sun up to sundown. Tired of enslavement, I'm thinking escape. The stars that map the freedom, fear their worst enemy that carries the rape of women and separation of families. We taking the Underground Railroad. The dogs on our scent in the river cold and wild. I see the freedom line ahead. Thank God Almighty, we free at last. Soon slaves are freed and segregation lied ahead. Jim Crow laws and racists are at their hot and they are lynching our people. And then the sudden smell of burning flesh. Here is a fruit, for the crows to pluck, for the rain to gather and the wind to sow, for the sun to rise, for the leaves to dry. Here is strange and bitter, bitter love. You see, I come from kings and queens that are known to own the most pigment on the planet. But to the ignorant, you know them as former slaves. It is unacceptable for us young people not to know who our heroes and heroines are and were. This is for all of my ancestors that died building this country. This is strange fruit.
Yeah. If you're not afraid of being yourself, can you make some noise? If you don't really care about what people say around you or about you, can you make some noise? Well, me neither. So when people talk about you, I want you to walk with your head up and keep being your authentic self. No matter who spoke down on you or tried to put you down or did put you down, I want you to know that you can rise above any situation or circumstance people try to put in your way. Black History Month was not just our history, but for us, we are the future. So don't let our future get drowned in the dirt. Let our future keep going on. Yes. So don't stop being yourself. Yes. Now, I'm here to introduce a guest speaker. He's a best-selling author of 10 different books. He's an international speaker, a college professor, a radio and TV component. He's a host of a Vision Summit. He's an overcomer of stage 4 cancer. Yeah, clap it up for that. That's an overcomer. He has been on BET, CBS, Fox News, NBC, and etc. I can keep going, but you know, it's a long list. He stars in the movie Lady Luck. He's an empowerer. He's a co-founder of Boys to Books, which is an inspirational or forgive me, y'all. I got to read off this paper. I'm usually going off the top of my head. One of my other favorites, he was listed as the top 35 millennial influencers in America. He speaks at churches, colleges, conferences, empowering and inspiring people to become and maximize their purpose. And my favorite, I said it last time, is he grew up in Kingston, Jamaica. And he lives in Detroit, Michigan. And lastly, I had a chance to speak with him myself, and he's very bright. So be attentive, and y'all determine how well he's going to speak. So when he dropped knowledge, I ask that you put your hands together for it. Because it takes a lot of courage to get up here and speak in front of people whose face always look mad. You got something to smile about, so smile about it. Now, I speak none other than the black Dr. Eddie Connor.
Can we give it up for my man Kingston? Come on, don't hate, celebrate. How y'all doing today? Matter of fact, y'all ain't responding to that. What up, though? There it is. Listen, I used to teach school for 12 years. Taught 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, so I do want your undivided attention. So my rule is when I'm talking, you listening. It's like if I'm a guest in your house. Generally, you treat your guests a little bit better, right? So as a guest in your house, hopefully you treat me good. Where my 11th graders at? All my juniors, make some noise. Where my seniors at? The 12th graders, are you in the house? I said 12th graders, you in the house? All right. All right, I'll let you get it out. Now let me get it in. Check this out. I hope you're excited because of the next steps that you're about to take. So let me just say thank you for the opportunity to be here. Shh. Let's bring it down. Thank you for the opportunity to be here, to, of course, the students, all of you all, to your faculty, to your tremendous teachers, to your principal, Mr. Charles Davis, to your assistant principal, Miss Michelle Kiles, to Pastor Lester Jordan, to Miss Fredericks. If I keep naming names, I'll get in trouble. I'm so glad to be here, and I want to get right into it, because I want to drop some knowledge, some jewels, gems, and wisdom on your mind, so you can take your life to the next level. And in keeping with the theme of Black history, because black is beautiful. I'm black, I'm proud. I want to speak from the subject today, keep that same energy. You know, I'm reminded of a quote by Tavis Smiley, who declared, young people are like Kodak film, all they need is development and exposure. And in many cases, there's no mystery that black history is rich history. You gotta know this. But in many cases, black history is also American history because it's ingrained in the fabric of this country. You know what? We often holler and we throw up both our hands because we cry and we complain. We say that Black History Month is the shortest month, but it's also the coldest month of the year, and it was just given to us. They made us take it. But you got to recognize and realize that the father of Black history, the father of Black History Month, Carter G. Woodson, saw fit to choose February because he wanted to mark the fact of celebrating supermen and superwomen in our culture because of two of his favorite people were born in the month of February. Number one being the 16th president of these yet-to-be United States of America, Abraham Lincoln, And secondly, one of the greatest oratorical abolitionists to ever live, by the name of Frederick Douglass. And it is that same Frederick Douglass who declared, if we build strong children, we won't have to repair broken adults. Because the prison systems are not going to build you. The streets are not going to build you. But like we say in communities where I come from, I'm from the east side of Detroit, Warren and Conner. Don't let the smooth suit fool you today. Like we say in communities where I live in, we all we got. And the fact of the matter is, the question becomes, how do you maintain a dream when you're living in a nightmare? If you come from communities like I come from, where you got more liquor stores than you do grocery stores, where you got more weed stores than you do grocery stores, and people get high, but their life is level low, when it's trap houses everywhere, when people are shooting and looting and burying and funeralizing, when you got more burials than you do graduations, the question becomes, how do I think positive when I live in a negative environment? How do I maintain a dream when I'm living in a nightmare? I want to give you some solutions today, because you got to recognize and realize this. I hope you're listening. Because the two most important dates in your life are, number one, the day that you were born, but secondly, the day you realize why you were born. And I know many of us get happy about that. We celebrate our birthday like it was a national holiday. Some of us get turned up, and I ain't going to look at you because I'll incriminate you. But it's not just the day you were born, it's the day you realize why. What is your why for living? I know what you want. I know when you want to get it. I know how you want to receive it. I know you want to pull up to the scene with your ceiling missing. I know you want to be G'd up from the feet up. I know you want to floss and gloss. I know you want to stun on the gram. But beyond all that, what is your real purpose for living? Because a job is what you paid for, but your vision and your purpose is what you're made for. And you got to recognize that there's greatness inside of you. Guess what? Because if nothing changes in your life, nothing else is going to change. If you keep doing the same old thing, expecting a different result, you straight up crazy. You got to make some decisions in your life to get away from folks who are doing negative. You got to make some decisions in your life to get away from people who are running the streets and not going to school, who are more focused on all the negative, on selling weed, but not actually picking up the books to study their word. You got to make some decisions in your life to say, I'm not going to repeat the same cycle of where I came from. Listen, if poverty ran in your family, if negativity ran in your family, you got to say, because I'm alive, now it runs out. Because I'm making some decisions in my life. That's what the meaning of Black history is. And you got to ask yourself, am I a chump or am I a champion? Am I a worrier or a warrior? Am I a whiner or a winner? Am I going to be chained to my past or changed by my future? Am I a chicken or an eagle? And the last time I checked, eagles never hung around in chicken coops. Because chicken-type people are those who always cluck and gossip and flap their wings. They look like they can soar. They look like they can get off the ground. But all they have an excuse about is, see what had happened was, or this what I'm about to do. But they never do anything. But eagles soar alone. Eagles go to the next level. And whether somebody's going to appreciate them or not, eagles recognize that there's some greatness that's on the inside of them. And you got to make some decisions in your life to say, I'm going to get away from chicken-type folks who cluck and gossip and don't have any goals for their life. Because if I hang around people who don't have any goals, they're going to stop me from achieving my goals. If I hang around people who don't have any dreams, I'm going to live in a nightmare. If I hang around people who are blind, I'll never have any vision. I got to see my greatness that's on the inside of me. Listen, because it's not about being celebrated, but it's about being dedicated. You're not here for no applause. You're here to work and roll up your sleeves for a cause. 200 years plus ago in this country, it was illegal for black people to read. You would be maimed, you'd be killed, you'd be lynched if you even were caught picking up a book in your hand. Now, many times, we don't even pick up a book because we think that being black means I gotta be dumb. Being black means I gotta sell out rather than buy into my future. Being black means really I'm repping my hood by getting D's and E's. That's negative. Listen, it ain't about talking right. It ain't about talking white. It's about talking right. You speaking the King's English, you being intelligent, you recognizing that there's greatness that's on the inside of you, you getting A's and B's and being on the honor roll and being on the National Honor Society is not selling out, it's buying into the legacy of real black history.
Yes, sir.
You got to make some decisions. Check this out. You got to make some decisions. When you see young people who are being killed every single day, you got to make some decisions. When human trafficking is really real, you got to make some decisions. When they'd rather lock you up in prison than allow you to unlock your dreams, you got to make some decisions to say in your life, life is like simple math. The people aren't adding to my life. I got to do some simple math and subtract them from my life. Because there's greatness that's on the inside of me. And what I'm looking at here today are not chicken-type young people. I'm looking at eagles. I'm looking at leaders. I'm looking at innovators. I'm looking at judges and creators. I'm looking at doctors and lawyers and presidents and entrepreneurs. I'm looking at new school Malcolm X and new school Martin Luther Kings and Coretta Scott Queens today. I'm not just looking at future celebrities, but I'm looking at history-making CEOs and heroes. And what you got to do, you got to begin to step into the winner's circle. You got to surround yourself with the people that are already where you're trying to go. And the biggest investment is not in your bank account. It's not in a Benz. It's not in friends. It's not in Jordans. It's not in Louboutins. It's not in your new school phone. But the best investment that you can make is in yourself. Because you got to recognize success is not about how I look. Success is about who I am. Success is not about how much money you have. But success is about the value that you have that's on the inside of you. Because I told somebody the other day, when young people play video games, by the time you hit the age of 18, they say the average young person has played at least 10,000 hours worth of video games. And they've been spent much of that time on social media. But the question becomes, what if young people spent as much time with their face in the book as the time that they spend on Facebook? What would happen if young people spent the time on Instagram, not just looking for likes, but they recognize that there's some love and some value that's on the inside of them? Because I'm a living witness that you can't teach anybody anything who thinks they know everything. Because a know-it-all really knows nothing at all. And what we must do, we must be open to listen and to learn, because they're building prisons based on 2nd and 3rd grade reading scores. And you got to make a declaration today to say, I'm not going to be incarcerated, but I'm going to be educated. Because I understand that I'm young, I'm black, I'm successful, I'm gifted. And because I'm gifted, I got to lift my brother and my sister to move their life to the next level. Dr. King suggested that anybody can be great because everybody can serve. You got to understand that something is wrong if you know more about Migos and Megan Thee Stallion than you do about Madam C.J. Walker and Medgar Evers. Something is wrong when we focus more on self-identity than we do the whole aspect of black history. Because society would rather lock you up in prison than unlock your dreams. But you got to make a declaration today to say, you know what, I'm not going to be in no cuffs, but I'm going to be in a graduation gown. I'm not going to be negative, but I'm going to be positive. And that's why we celebrate you today, because you stand on the shoulders of giants from today and yesterday. We celebrate you today because you're not taking a mugshot, but today you can take your own selfie. We celebrate you today because you will not be in cuffs, but you will be in caps. You will be in graduation gowns, not prison jumpsuits. You're studying books to get diplomas and go on to earn a degree, not guns and bullets. You're embarking on a new revolution by graduating to the next level. And young man, you need to know this. You may never dribble a ball and play in the NBA, but you can still own the team by earning an MBA. That's a Master's in Business Administration. My dear sister, you may never be America's next top model, but if your standards are higher than your heels, you can be America's next top role model, because there's a queen inside of you and you got to wear your crown by any means necessary. You got to love yourself. You got to know your worth. What we need to do is realize that 92% of black millionaires never got rich. They never got wealthy from shooting the ball in the basket. They never got rich or wealthy from running a football on the field. They never twerked in the video, but they rolled up their sleeves to work. They never were rapping on the microphone, but they were businessmen and women. And that's what you got to do. You got to build your future. You got to use this education to take your life to the next level. Because as you train up a child in the way that they should go, when they're older, they won't depart from it. You got to say to yourself, I'm not going to go to prison, I'm going to go to Princeton. I'm not going to go to jail, I'm going to go to Cornell in here. I'm not going to do 4 years in a prison house. I'm going to do 4 years at a Spelman or a Morehouse. I'm not going to do 4 years in a correctional facility, but I'm going to do 4 years in a college or a university. Because no longer can we have a generation of young folks who are just iced out, listening to 2 Chainz, wearing 2 Chainz, who got style, but they lack substance. I know you got the juice. I know you got the sauce. I know you swagged out. But swag has to stand for someone who achieves greatness. Because life is about more than you get your nail done, hair done, everything did. Are you fancy, huh? Life is about more than pulling up to the scene with your ceiling missing. Life is about more than you just being bad and bougie. Life is about more than getting a Rolex. But what's a Rolex if you don't really know what time it is? Life is about more than getting you a pair of buffs. Because what is sight if you don't have insight? And having sight but no vision means you still blind, because real eyes realize real truth are lies. And no longer can you believe the lie about what society has told you. They said because you didn't grow up with a father, you were destined to go to prison. Because of this, you at risk. You're low level. You're negative. You can't achieve this. You got to delete the letter T from the word can and turn into what you can do. You got to tell the story about yourself. Because if you don't know who you are, people will tell you what you're not. And you got to believe that greatness is on the inside of you. Listen, I'm getting ready to get out of here. I just stopped by to just encourage you today. But no longer can we have a generation of girls who just strut in high heels but have low standards. No longer can we just have sisters who will twerk but never lift their hand to work. No longer can we have young brothers who rock high top tennis shoes but you got low ambition. I know we talk all day and all the time about we demonize you and criticize you for your sagging pants. But let me put a spin on this. Many times you coming from sagging homes. You're coming from a sagging school system. You're coming from sagging communities. You're coming from sagging government. You're coming from sagging entities in life. So as a result, your grades sag. Your dreams sag. But if you pull up the home, if you pull up the community, if you pull up the relationships, if you pull up the school, if you pull up the government, I'm a living witness, my brothers, you'll pull up your pants. So today you got to realize that you're not average, you're amazing. You got to realize just like the spotlight is on me, the spotlight is on you. In many cases, life has made you so dark and dismal. It's made you mentally discombobulated. But the question becomes, will you shine through the dark times? Will you shine when your father's not there? Will you shine when you don't feel like doing your homework? Will you shine when it seems like nobody understands you? Will you shine when it feels like you want to take your own life? Will you shine when you're suffering from depression? You got to shine because the spotlight is on you. You're not a whiner, you're a winner. You're not a worrier, you're a warrior. You're not a chicken, you're an eagle. You're not a chump, you're a champion. And you got to soar to the next level. Because I believe I got some juniors and some seniors who are going to graduate to the next level. You're going to graduate to the next level. You're going to be the first one in your family to ever do it big like you're about to do it. You're going to be the first one in your family to go and get your degree and go and get your master's and your PhD. You're going to be the first millionaire in your family to change the trajectory for your whole life. Because if I was 50 Cent, I'd tell you I got 21 questions. I'm not 21 Savage and I won't ask you 21 questions, but I'll ask you like 21 Savage asked you, how many people done doubted you? Come on, don't fool me now. How many people done doubted you? They left you out to rot. How many prayed that you flop? How many times did you cry? How much homework did you have to do? How many times did your mama and daddy pray for you? How many times did your teachers and principals help you? How many times did you emerge victorious through? Why? Because whatever you've been through, the good news is that you made it and you're still here. You're not a young thug, you're a young scholar. You're not a detriment, you're determined. You're not a stereotype, you're a prototype. You're not a liability, but you will be an asset to your community, your school, and ultimately your university. Because we got to understand that the real role models are not just Jeezy, Weezy, Yeezy, and Jay-Z, and Beyonce, and Nicki Minaj, and Lil Uzi, but the real role models are you and me. The real role models are your teachers. The real role models are your leaders. The real role models are those who stand up. And that's why, young brothers and sisters, it's with quake and trepidation that I have this opportunity today. In many cases, I shouldn't even have this hallowed opportunity, because when I was growing up in school, my favorite two classes in school were gym and lunch. I wanted to chase the girls in gym and then sit down and eat with them at lunch. But I learned something in chemistry class, and that is water steams at 211 degrees, but it boils at 212 degrees. It's just 1 degree difference from moving from steam to boil. It's just one decision that you got to make from moving from being a failure to a success. It's just 1 degree difference where you can move from a B to an A, from a C to a B. It's just one decision that you can make that will change your whole life and the rest of your life. Reason I tell you this, you see my suit on today, you see me G'd up from the feet up, but you don't see the scars under the suit. And in many cases, I had to go to the University of Adversity. I had to graduate from the School of Hard Knocks. Because at the age of 15, I faced one of my greatest hurdles, circumstances, and challenges. Over my friend's house watching the Rose Bowl game, couldn't breathe by halftime. His mother takes me to the hospital, my mother meets me there. The doctors cut me open, they do a CT scan of the chest, they do an x-ray. They see my cells in my body are growing so fast they can see them with the naked eye. Around my heart, my trachea, my esophagus, my voice box, the place I'm speaking to you out of right now. Felt great coming out of surgery. The doctor says, Eddie, we have a diagnosis for you. You have what we call NHL. I thought I hit the Powerball, never played the lottery, because for me, NHL stood for National Hockey League. I said, I'm getting ready to be the youngest owner of a National Hockey League team. Doc says, no, Eddie, you have what we call non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I said, Doc, my first language is Ebonics. I'm still trying to learn English. What do you mean? He says, you have not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4. Stage 4 cancer. I was losing my life right as I was starting life. And doctor looks at me, he says, you may not be able to make this through this whole situation, this ordeal. My own biological father never visited me in the hospital. I had to go through chemotherapy and radiation. Y'all see these waves today? At least I hope you can see them. Lost all my hair, but my self-confidence, my self-esteem, I lost my will to live. But I'm grateful that I had a praying mama. I'm grateful that I had people in my life who I thought they were praying for me. In many cases, sometimes folks are praying on you. But I wish I could tell you, just like the movie The Color Purple today, if I put it on, I'd tell you just like Sophia, all my life, I had to fight. Do I got some fighting young folks in the place who not gonna fight each other, but will fight for each other? Because cancer made me cry, but cancer didn't make me quit. I'm in my guidance counselor's office. She didn't give me any guidance or counseling. She looks at my grades and she looks at me and she says, Eddie, you're not going to college. Matter of fact, don't think about community college, because she knew what my favorite 2 classes in school were. What's that? Gym and lunch. She said, matter of fact, don't even think about community college, pick up a trade. But the same lady who told me I'd never go to college had to show up to my graduation from college. The same person who was told that I'd never go to college, I'm now a professor at a college with a PhD, but for her it stood for a player-hater degree. You gotta let people doubt you, but not let them stop you. Because the last 4 letters in African and the last 4 letters in American spells I can. That's the mentality that you gotta have. When you don't feel like leading, when you don't feel like succeeding, you gotta recognize that there's greatness inside of you, because your hair ain't too nappy or too kinky. No, baby, you got good hair because you got African in your family. Who said your nose was too big? Who said your lips were too big? No, my lips are big enough so I can open up my mouth and say, I am my brother's keeper. I am my sister's protector. You're not too dark or too light. Baby, God made you just right. You gotta love yourself. You got to know your worth. You got to square your shoulders. You got to recognize that there's greatness on the inside of you. So River Rouge High School, just stop by to empower you. I got to log off and I got to sign off. But I want you to keep that same energy. It's the same energy that you have on the basketball court. Keep that same energy to succeed. That same energy that you have for other things. I want you to do it like Kendrick Lamar would say, that you got loyalty, you got royalty in inside your DNA. So mount up with wings as eagles, because the hopes and dreams of Dr. King lives inside of you. The radical roar of Malcolm X screams by any means necessary. The vision of Dr. Carter G. Woodson is deep in your soul, illuminating your visual acuity. Frederick Douglass, Medgar Evers, invent like George Washington Carver. Reinvent like Fannie Lou Hamer, Rosa Parks, Barbara Jordan. Turn pain into poetry like a Maya Angelou. Knock out oppression like a Muhammad Ali. Hit a home run and break barriers like a Jackie Robinson. Pick up the baton and recognize it's your time to run your race like a Jesse Owens. Ladies, wear your crown and be a queen like Coretta Scott King. Maintain the audacity of hope like a Barack Obama. When they go low, you ought to go high like a Michelle Obama. Rise to new heights like Dorothy Height. Turn pain into poetry like a Maya Angelou. Demand RESPECT like Aretha Franklin. Get active and demand equal rights like a Fannie Lou Hamer. Look at the clock and recognize it's your time like a Benjamin Banneker. Let your ideas be like a light bulb ignited by the filament of a Lewis Latimer. You're modern day Marcus Garvey, Nelson Mandela, Cesar Chavez, Rosa Parks, W.B. Du Bois, Booker T. Washington, Stokely Carmichael. You come from kings and you sure enough come from queens, because the words of a witty warrior by the name of Maya Angelou said, you may write me down in history with your bitter twisted lies. You may try me in the very dirt, but still like dust I rise. Rise, River Rouge. Rise above violence. Rise above crime. Rise above incarceration. Rise above negativity. You want to say by any means necessary. I'm unapologetically rising above every obstacle. I'm unapologetically graduating to the next level. I'm unapologetically educated by any means necessary. I'm committed to my community. I'm young, black, and gifted. I'm unapologetically black and I'm proud. So keep that same energy when you go back to your classroom. Keep that same energy when you go home today. Keep that same energy when you study your homework. Keep that same energy and be respectful to your teachers and your principals and your peers. Change your mentality. Keep that same energy to walk it like you talk it into your destiny. Let the haters hate. Let the talkers talk. But just tell this and do this and go every single day and tell every hater to put some respect on your name and make Black history every day.
You said he snapped?
Wow, that's all I can say right now. What a dynamic speaker. So he shared with you all a lot of wisdom. Just don't listen and just say, oh, okay, you know, that was a great speaker. Take it in and take it with you. At this time, we're going to have Madison Petaway come and give us some spoken word.
Oh, Maddie! I know her. Hey, girl. White mama. White man.
Southern tree.
Kennedy.
Byron strange. Blood on the leaves and blood at the roots. Black bodies swinging in the southern breeze. Strange fruit hanging from the trees. You see, I come from kings and queens that are known to own the most pigment on the planet. But to the ignorant, you know them as former slaves. The crack of a whip or blistered hand, splinters from the creaking boards to racks of Africans stripped from their homes, infections creep and take over the weak. Kakumba, my toto, kakumba. Run, child, run, because they gonna throw you on a chain gang and put you on a ship. 2.4 million of my ancestors died at sea just for you to mistreat them and use them for your selfish needs. This is strange. From ships to auction and cotton fields from sun up to sundown. Tired of enslavement, I'm thinking escape. The stars that map to freedom, fear their worst enemy that carries the rape of women and separation of families. We taking the Underground Railroad. The dogs on our scent and the river cold and wild. I see the freedom line ahead. Thank God Almighty, we free at last. Soon slaves were freed and segregation lied ahead. Jim Crow laws and races are at their height and they are lynching our people. And then the sudden smell of burning flesh. Here is a fruit for the crows to blow, for the rain to gather and the wind to sow, for the sun to rise. For the leaves to drop. Here is strange and bitter crowd. You see, I come from kings and queens that are known to own the most pigment on the planet. But to the ignorant, you know them as former slaves. It is unacceptable for us young people not to know who our heroes and heroines are and were. This is a tribute to all of my ancestors that died building this country. This is strange fruit.
Wow. That's all I can say right now is wow, what a dynamic speaker. He left you all with a lot of wisdom to take with you and to use it. And this time we're going to bring our River Rouge High School dancers.
Mind your business, David.
clap it up for audio and visual as well. I think they did a good job, made a good show for you guys. That's all you got for them? Clap it up for them. Thank you. Thank you. I thought that was a real nice show. So that'll conclude you guys' show. Thank you for everybody that stayed attentive. I'm still talking right now. And respectful. I thought it was a nice show. Thought it was well put together. Thank you so much, Ms. Fredericks. Everybody clap it up for Ms. Fredericks and her team. I think the entire team did a great job for this African American History program that we just kicking off and getting started. So what we'll do, we'll dismiss accordingly. So.